Hello and welcome to Digital Literacy Train the Trainer, Week 1. So we're going to be discussing ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, including the software, limitations, ethics, and governance. So if you're not familiar with ChatGPT, it is a chatbot that has taken the world by storm with its capabilities. ChatGPT is trained on web, so you can use it to find preliminary information about a subject, as well as write templates, help you with research, and more. So let's go into a little bit of it. What is ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is created by OpenAI, which is a company that allows you to use artificial intelligence products. So OpenAI creates these models and strives to give them human values and human characteristics. GPT stands for Generative Pre-Training Transformer. The GPT-3 learning model is trained using an unsupervised learning model, which, according to IBM, uses machine learning algorithms to discover patterns or groupings in data without human intervention. GPT-3 tries to predict what word will come next in a sentence by analyzing various forms of text. So if you ask it a question, GPT-3 is going to analyze the words that come in your question, and based on its database, will provide an answer based off words that come next or before it in its database. InstructGPT uses the GPT-3 learning model, but it also includes a supervisory model. In this sense, humans can provide feedback to the model through demonstrations and ranking outputs. This is called reinforcement learning from human feedback. The idea here is to reduce the amount of imaginary facts and decrease toxic output generation, which is basically unsafe content. So let's take a little look about how ChatGPT works. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my ChatGPT here. And let's say I want it to create a poem about the University of Louisville. And it will output a poem on the University of Louisville. Let's say I want it to create me a business proposal template. Now, I have used ChatGPT to create several documents that I am not familiar with. For example, business proposals or transcripts or things like that. Also, letters of recommendation, things that I'm not typically creating on a daily basis. I will use ChatGPT to provide me a template in order to get started. Let's also use ChatGPT to take a look at healthcare salaries. So please list technology in healthcare. ChatGPT did the favor for us of listing these job titles from lowest ranging salary to highest ranging salary. We have anything between informatics specialists, data analysts, IT project managers, software developers, software engineers, telemedicine, health apps and mobile development, and artificial intelligence specialists. We're going to go ahead and go back to our PowerPoint. And let's take a look at the limitations of ChatGPT. So as we discussed in the last slide, ChatGPT is trying to predict how you wanted to answer your question based off how text in its database is formatted and the text around it. While it has access to a ton of text, ChatGPT does not have a common sense and will potentially answer questions incorrectly. ChatGPT is also not a one-stop shop for information. If you look on the website, we're going to create a new chat. There are some limitations listed here, so it may occasionally generate incorrect information, may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content, and it has a limited knowledge of world and events after 2021. What does this mean? While it has access to a ton of text, information is limited to what's in the database with a cutoff date of September 2021. So it won't be able to answer all of your questions without limitation. Outputs may be incorrect. So we'll take a look at some of this later. Since ChatGPT only knows the relationship between words as they're presented in the database, it doesn't understand the context behind information that you provide. This can make it hard to discern what you are trying to say or what information you are wanting. So let's go back to and let's say, that's great, but I wanted just entry level positions. So you can provide feedback to ChatGPT. It is using its previous response and editing that in order to just give me entry level positions. So we're going to switch gears from a second to the reinforcement learning from human feedback. Remember how we talked about that previously? So this software gathers feedback from humans on what responses to provide. So combined with the demographic of people who wrote the content, it can show clear bias and can offend users. So keep in mind that the people at OpenAI are trying to make a chatbot that encompasses the values of humans. And in order to do that, you have to keep in mind that a machine does not have its own values. So someone has to put those values in there. And these values are going to come from people who have their own opinions, their own ethics. It can also provide some biased information. So here are some interesting articles to read. They'll be located on Strut. There's also bias between the demographics of people who publish this information. So those are going to be some interesting things to read. So what about some examples of incorrect information provided through ChatGPT? So I asked ChatGPT, is 44,347 a prime number? So ChatGPT says that 44,347 is a prime number. However, we look up the factors of 44,347. Our factors are going to be 61 and 727. So why does it say that 44,347 is a prime number? I also asked ChatGPT to create an introduction to me. I was not interested on the inner workings of computers and experimenting. Don't put me in front of the innards of a computer if you don't want stuff broken. Honestly, that's the basics of it. So let's look at some lawsuits. I don't know if you've heard about this, but the Mata v. Avianca case was filed February 22nd, 2022. Plaintiff, Mata, he was hit by a beverage cart and sustained personal injury. A lawyer used ChatGPT to come up with some cases that had precedents. And those cases that ChatGPT came up with were Varghese versus China Southern Airlines and Saboon versus Egypt Air. However, these cases are not real cases. These cases actually were predicted from ChatGPT as it was putting words together. So just keep in mind, ChatGPT can come up with information that isn't actually information. So how should ChatGPT be used? Let's go into the ethics. So let's review the definition of ethics quickly. According to Oxford Languages, ethics are the moral principles that govern a person's behavior or conducting of an activity. So let's consider these questions. As the lawyer learned in the previous slide, ChatGPT should not be used as a search engine. According to OpenAI, ChatGPT isn't connected to the internet, contrary to popular belief. So ChatGPT uses information collected from the internet as of 2021. We should always keep in mind that ChatGPT can provide biased information, and we should always back up our findings on ChatGPT with our own research. ChatGPT is very confident in any answer it provides, regardless of whether it is factual or not. While artificial intelligence has many benefits, it can also have unintended consequences. For example, those who are getting their information for ChatGPT may have misleading or biased information as to which they are forming their own knowledge base. According to Leans and Zhu and Borson, responsibility and liability for harms resulting from the use of AI applications remain ambiguous under many legal frameworks. So this raises the question, should AI be governed like humans? There are also many other artificial intelligence platforms available. So these are going to include Google Bard, we have Character AI, we have the GPT-3 Playground, you have UChat, Bing AI, and there's even artificial intelligence generators that will generate images for you.